two-part video series looking at some of the key types of knowledge that native speakers have and that non-native speakers may need to be taught. The first video looked at the importance of context knowledge and familiarity with other communicators, as well as Bryce's cooperative principle. This video will consider genre knowledge and discourse markers. Genres are easy to define in written academic English. In fact, most pre-collegiate writing textbooks are organized according to genre writing needed for success in college. The list of academic writing genres includes, but is not limited to, narration, description, example, definition, compare-contrast, cause-effect, and persuasion. I'm sure I forgot some. Just in comparison, script writing genres would be documentary, action, horror, thriller, comedy, and romance, with any possible combination of each. Some of the language and organization rules for the academic written genres transfer to speaking, especially academic speaking and presentations. However, the speaking genres for everyday life are very different. Scott Thornbury, the author of How to Teach Speaking, initially divides speaking into either transactional or interpersonal categories. Transactional is represented in conversations with taxi drivers about payment, or with shopkeepers over items to purchase, or with waitresses, wait people, over menu suggestions. Transactional conversations have a goal of exchanging information, service, or items. On the other hand, interpersonal conversations work to create and preserve good feelings and relationships between individuals. So, whereas talking to the taxi driver about where to go and what the fee is characterizes transactional communication, talking to the taxi driver about where he is from and how long he has been driving would be considered interpersonal dialogue. Within these two larger categories are numerous speaking genres. Some of these are small talk, storytelling, making complaints, giving suggestions, showing anger, starting and closing conversations, changing topics, job interviews, asking for directions, and the list continues. Okay? Discourse markers. All of the speaking genres I just mentioned contain specific discourse markers that allow speakers and listeners to know what the basic script should look like. If the speaker says, "I think you should," then the listener recognizes a suggestion. If the speaker says, "Shut the door," then the listener knows this is a command, and not following the command could have consequences to the relationship. Discourse markers can be single words like "well," which often signals a change in turns or topics. "Well, I was thinking." Or "but," which lets listeners know that a contrasting thought or opinion is coming. Or they can be phrases or sentence structures like in the examples above with "should" and "shut the door." These genre scripts and discourse markers are so embedded for native speakers that most of them could not even explain them or recognize them without being taught them first. However, for non-native speakers, it can speed up speaking fluency when these are included into lessons, even if they're not the basis of the syllabus. Okay? So this video has discussed genre knowledge and discourse markers, and the next video is going to talk about grammar and vocabulary knowledge.